Yesterday, I received my long-awaited parcel from Vinted. I was expecting a pair of leather shoes that I would wear to the office. Well, when I received this box, I already thought that something is wrong because although my shoe size is not too big, but still this box looks too small to be able to contain the shoes. And as you would expect, the box was empty. So there was nothing in the box. Vinted is another platform to sell and buy pre-loved stuff, starting from clothing and ending from different home-related stuff. Vinted has a middleman. It is basically a middleman that holds the money of buyers and charges the buyers a buyer protection fee that Vinted takes for itself. And then when the buyer receives the product from seller and everything is fine with the product, seller gets the money. So this middleman makes the sale process of products throughout the whole country possible. For example, if in marketplace we wouldn't trust to pay the seller while they're sending the product because we wouldn't really know if seller is going to send it or not, it would be like only a goodwill of seller. With Vinted it's easier because Vinted is a middleman. There is also a second middleman, which is a courier. Sometimes we can choose different companies of couriers that are going to do this service, but other times it's impossible to choose a different courier and we have to go with the one that is available. There are 5 very common Vinted scams that you should be aware of in order to make this platform safe for yourself. The first scam is usually related to authentic and branded products. When you see an authentic or branded product on Vinted, ask as many photos as possible and ask seller to provide you with the proof of authenticity. And sometimes the questions like, why are you selling this, can be also appropriate. For example, if you're looking for a Dolce & Gabbana bag or Gucci bag, just Google on the internet what traits the fake Gucci bag has and how I can differentiate between fake Gucci bag and the original Gucci bag. It will help you to understand the situation better. It's way harder to understand which perfume is original and which is fake, so it's only in your own judgment to trust the seller if the product is authentic. Sometimes sellers only post one photo of a product. For example, if it's some sort of an appliance, they post a photo of it being in the box. And given that the item has been used, it's better that the seller actually shows the photos of the product itself, not the product being in the box. And that leads us to the second very common scam that is related to sellers not having the product and trying to scam you in some way that you buy the product but they send something else or they send an empty box. Again, if you have one photo for a product or if you check the seller profile and you see that seller doesn't sell anything else or seller has sort of this suspicious product lines, only branded products or the products that don't relate to each other at all, it should make you suspicious. Of course, there can be sellers that are selling different types of products. There can be sellers that have only one product, but more often than not, you should be skeptical about this stuff. The third very common Vinted scam is related to the middleman, the courier. Sometimes, and actually oftentimes, if you look at the statistics, the courier can change the contents of the box while you're getting it. It was very popular to do so by couriers of Every in the UK. I don't know if it's still the case, it probably is, that sometimes when they see the box that is related to some sort of Vinted transaction, they are trying to change the inside of the box. They open it, take the good shoes or take something else that is good and either put nothing inside or put something meaningless inside. For example, a friend of mine, she ordered leather shoes for her office to wear to the office and instead she received sandals. But seller was telling her that he actually sent her the sandals and there must have something happened in the middle. Then they discovered that this has been happening quite often with every couriers within the Vinted purchases. The only way for sellers to protect themselves from it, because buyers don't lose anything, buyer can just report to Vinted that they received not what they expected and they get their money back. But seller might not get his money back, and also they might not get the product back because the product is gone. In order to protect you from this, I would advise you to take a video or photos or any type of footage of you packing the product, you taking the product to the drop-off point, and you dropping off the product, and of course the postage receipt. It's very, very helpful when you're having the disputes with the buyer in order to prove that you have sent the product. I have seen many people nowadays taking a video, sort of like how they pack the product, video and photo, how they drop the product off, video and photo, and etc. So again, it protects the seller in this transaction, because if buyer receives not something that he or she expected to receive, they still get their money back. The fourth type of scam on Vinted is called blank paper. It's a very interesting type of scam actually. When you bought a product, seller sends it to you and the Vinted system shows that the item has been sold. Then you're wondering that you haven't received the item. Suddenly in Vinted chat it says that the item has been delivered. The item has been delivered, but you're like thinking, okay, but it hasn't been delivered, and you might think that, okay, I will allow you 1 day or 2 and then I will report to Vinted. You might forget about that, and Vinted marks the product as delivered okay within 2 days after delivery, and then the money for the product goes to the seller. You might be wondering, if the product has been marked as delivered, why you haven't received it? Well, it would be a good idea to check among your mails whether you have received a blank paper or blank envelope with the Vinted label on it. So oftentimes scammers on Vinted send you just a blank envelope with your label on it. Many people, when they receive a lot of letters, they just forget to go through their letters, and this blank envelope is left unnoticed. After that, you expect your delivery to come, you forgot to check your mail, and you don't expect your delivery to be there. Time passes and Vinted marks the product is being delivered okay automatically after 2 days after delivery. And then you don't have your money, seller got the money, and you can't prove that you haven't received the product, because in Vinted system it was marked as delivered. The second loophole with this scam is Royal Mail. Well, the fault is not at Royal Mail really, but for example, in the UK, there are some courier companies that are connected to Vinted's tracking system. So whenever the item is sent by the seller or received by the buyer, Vinted system is being notified and you are automatically receiving updates on your order. Well, with Royal Mail is different. Royal Mail's tracking system is not integrated within Vinted. So whenever you're placing an order through Vinted and using Royal Mail as a courier, Vinted does not get updates whenever the product has been sent or whenever it was delivered to you, and then the seller might turn up and say that he or she did not send the product to you, and it's very problematic, because it's very problematic to prove it, to go into disputes that the product has not been received by yourself, because seller might say that, oh, I've sent the product, it's just you're saying that I haven't received that. And Vinted doesn't know whom to trust, because again, the Royal Mail's tracking system is not integrated within Vinted. That's why it's important, whenever you have a choice, there are usually several choices of different companies. In the UK, you might have custom shipping, you might have Every, you might have Yodel, you might have Royal Mail. So refrain yourself from choosing Royal Mail and rather go with Yodel or Every, because their system is integrated with Vinted. The fifth scam is quite obvious, and it says that don't go outside Vinted. You might have heard it already, but sometimes we want the product so much as buyers, or the price of the product is so low that we sort of feel obliged. We have this drive to go outside Vinted when seller says, okay, let's chat in WhatsApp. If you don't want to pay buyer protection, let's chat in WhatsApp. Or the scam can be on the other side. The buyer can be scamming you and offer you to chat on the other platform. Never accept this, because in that case Vinted will not be able to help you. You will probably get into trouble, meaning that you will either lose your money or lose the product that you're going to sell, and that's not something you want. That's why if you posted something on Vinted, keep it strictly within Vinted and try to filter out all of the requests that ask you to go outside of Vinted, even if they don't want to pay buyer protection, because buyer protection is very important to sellers too. It means that the buyers are really serious about the item that they want to buy, and you can go ahead and send the item knowing that Vinted is holding your money to release them to you once the item has been received successfully. It was a short overview of common scams on Vinted, but don't forget to check out my video about common scams on Marketplace. Marketplace is your go-for place to buy pre-loved items. Have a nice day and see you soon. Bye!